So today we are filming my November TBR. I am very excited. I have so many good books on this list, and I really hope that I get to at least a few of them. So I'm gonna preface this by saying my TBRs are very extensive, and it's not very set in stone and concrete. These are just books that I would like to get to in this month, but if I don't, it's fine. I don't really hold myself to like, I have to read these books or else, because that kind of takes the fun out of reading. So this is just kind of like a list of books that I have in mind that I want to read in the month of November. And yeah, it's gonna be a great time. Now, I don't know how much reading I'm going to be getting done in November because I'm going on a trip. The first one that I want to read is Good Girl, Bad Blood. I have recently read A Good Girl's Guide to Murder, and I absolutely devoured that book. I read it so fast, it was so addicting. If you saw my October TBR, you saw me talk about this. I got the synopsis a little teensy bit wrong, but you know, I'll correct it here. But I absolutely love that book. I really want to jump into the next book, which is Good Girl, Bad Blood, and I'm very excited. Good Girls Guide to Murder is following our main character, Pippa, and she is doing a senior project for her school, and she decides that she wants to do it about this murder-suicide event that happened 5 years ago at her school, and she thinks that it's not what it's cracked up to be. It's not what everybody is saying it is. There's something wrong, and the murder suspect is innocent. So she is trying to solve who really did the murder and what really happened, and during that all, she's getting threatened. So it is very fast-paced, it is very intense. Definitely check out some trigger warnings. There is a few trigger warnings in this book that I didn't know going into it. Nothing too intense, but it does have mentions of suicide, drug use, eating disorders, self-harm. It has mentions of that, so if that's triggering to you, definitely be wary of that. Not too intense and in your face, but it is mentioned. So next up, we have Atlas 6 by Olivia Blake. I have actually already read this book, and I loved it so much. Like, look at all my tabs. The second book, The Atlas Paradox, is coming out. I think by the time this video is up, it's already out, but I want to reread this in November so I can pick up The Atlas Paradox soon, because I honestly don't really remember too much about this. I feel like there was a lot going on in this book, like a lot was just thrown at you at the same time, so I kind of want to do a reread so I can understand it a little bit more, because there was times where I was like, what is going on? But I still had a good time, so I want to reread this, and so I can read the next one. I'm also very happy that I have the self-published edition of this book because I prefer this cover. It's more aesthetically pleasing to me. There's beautiful artwork throughout this story. Let me see if I can find you some. And it's just a really good time. So this book is basically following our 6 main characters. We got Libby, Nico, Parissa, Raina, Tristan, and Callum. So they are called to this secret society, the Alexandrian Society. They are going to like the caretakers of the library in a way and protect the books. But the thing is only 5 people are going to stay, but there's 6 people called, so they all kind of have to come to the conclusion of who they want to leave. I did a really bad job at explaining that, but they all have different magical abilities. So it's very fun. It was a very good story. I had such a good time reading this. Excited to see how if my thoughts will change during the second read through. And as well as to read the second book, The Atlas Paradox. So yeah. Next up, we have Vinland Saga. This is a manga series about a Viking. I have actually read the first 2 volumes. I think I'm in the middle of volume 3, but I honestly don't remember too much about them. I adored what I read, and it's very good. So this is about our main character, Thorfinn. He has had a rough childhood. Something happened, and now he's being raised by the Vikings that murdered his father, and he is trying to avenge his father's death, get revenge for what they did. I really enjoyed what I read. I've never really read anything like this before or experienced any story like this before, so I'm very excited to continue it and see how it goes. There's also an anime for this, so if you're not into manga, but this sounds interesting, there's an anime for it. I think it's on Hulu, I believe, or Prime. It's on Hulu or Amazon Prime. I'm not sure. Next up, we have 2 books by R.F. Kuang, and that is The Poppy War and Babel. They're both very much different, but I want to try to get to at least one of these this month. I have heard nothing but good things about R.F. Kuang's writing. I am very excited for both of these. The Poppy War is like a high fantasy. Babel is a dark academia. So very different vibes with both of these, but I've heard amazing things about both of the stories. They both touch on different topics. The Poppy War, I've heard, is very good, but it's very dark. I've heard it's very powerful, and same with Babel. I've heard nothing but great things about it. I'm very excited to get to both of these and just experience R.F. Kuang's writing, because I've been anticipating reading her books for so long. I just never got around to it, so now is the time to do it. I really just need to do it. Next up, we have Every Heart a Doorway. This series was really big on BookTube, I feel like, a couple years back, but I haven't really heard too much about it as of recently. But they're stories that I've always been interested in and intrigued in wanting to read. I don't really know too much about this first book or about the series in general, but I've heard that it's really good, and the books are really like skinny. They're really short, so I feel like they would be easy to fly through. So this one will probably be more attainable to get to in the month of November, just because I am going to be out of town. Next up, we have A Chain of Gold by Cassandra Clare. This one is very ambitious. I don't know if there's going to be a possibility for me to get to this book this month, but a girl can dream. I've heard nothing but good things about it. I've heard that it's really good. Cassandra Clare's series, I feel like they just get better and better the farther they are in. Personally, I cannot see myself rereading The Mortal Instruments. I don't think I could put myself through that, but yeah, I've heard that this one is really good, and I love this cover. It's very autumnal. This one is high on my list, but I don't know if it's possible for me to get to in November. The next book that I'm hoping to get to in November is Cinder by Marissa Meyer. I have had the Lunar Chronicle series on my shelf for the longest time, and I've only read through Cinder. Literally don't remember anything about it, but I have heard so many good things about this series. I love her other series, Renegades, so I really want to read what started her writing journey, which is the Lunar Chronicles, and I've heard so many good things about this, and I just want to see what the hype is all about. So these are basically like Disney princesses reimagined into like a sci-fi world. So this one is following Cinderella, obviously. And I don't really know much else other than that, but I've heard so many good things about this series. So many people that I watch adore the series, so I feel like it's something that I'll like. Next up, we have The Stationery Shop. I feel like this will be a book that I really enjoy. Honestly, I don't know anything about the story whatsoever. Like, I know nothing about the plot. And last up, we have Anne of Green Gables. I'm going to try to get to it this month. If not, I really just want to get to it soon. Again, don't really know too much about Anne of Green Gables. It's a classic, and that's really all I know about it. The main character has red hair. Brittany really loves that series, and I just want to try it out and see if it's for me. That's basically it for my November TBR. Very ambitious. I don't know if I'm going to be getting to all of these, if any of these. Hopefully at least one or two. I'm hoping for at least one or two. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed. Let me know down below what books you guys are planning on reading in November, and if you have read any of these, let me know your thoughts. If you made it to this point, I love you very much. Comment down below a jack-o'-lantern, because that seems fun. All of my socials will be linked in the description. Twitter, my Goodreads, my Instagram, and my Twitch. I've been using Instagram and Twitch more often, so if that interests you, definitely go drop a follow. Thank you guys so much for watching. I will see you in the next one. Goodbye!